What's the dumbest thing you were paid to do and how much were you paid?
Got paid $300 to shovel my neighbor's front steps and driveway while she was away on vacation all winter. It did not even flurry once. Not me, but my friend ate a whole rose, thorns and all, for $5. I got $45 per hour to be a janitor for 4 hours a day for about a year. Simply because I had the office next to the break room. Meanwhile, the guy who was lot attendant was getting paid $10 an hour and chilled most of the day in the same break room. He wasn't allowed to do it because technically he worked outside, in a lot of 40 employee cars. His job was to pick up litter, direct people, and be friendly. Some 20-something years ago, I was 16 and working for a startup pizza place. The owners had no idea what they were doing in the beginning, they just wanted to sell pizzas. Went on to become a major chain, making the owners pretty wealthy. This takes place in Europe. So, I delivered pizza. There was a fee of the equivalent of $4 for each pizza, plus tips. Well, there was a lot of demand, and it was a small place, so you could deliver multiple pizzas within a 15-minute period. So, on busy nights I could make $50 an hour. Sometimes more. After a year or so, the owners figured out that the delivery boys were making more money than them, and changed it to $10 an hour, which is not bad, but most of us quit anyways. Still to this day one of the better paying jobs I have ever had. $1,325. The guy wanted a drawing of his pony having sex with a bunch of balloons shaped like various cartoon characters in a massive collage. My rate charge is per character per fetish, and he came to me fully prepared to dump $1,500 on the complete commission after adding it all up himself. I gave him a discount since even I felt like it was insanity. I probably should have charged the full amount since it did end up taking me 2 weeks to do on and off just from burnout at drawing the same style balloon over and over just in different shapes, but that was definitely the most silly/dumb commission I've ever had, or at least the most I've been commissioned for something dumb/silly. Used to get paid to hand out samples in a grocery store. $10 per hour to stand around. It was great. Usually listed as event specialist, if you're interested in stupid easy money. Paid to build a roadside cabinet full of parts never designed to work together, where they'd ordered all the parts before hiring me, the person who was supposed to make it all work. $17 an hour. Needless to say, this project failed miserably. They made critical equipment mistakes that could not be worked around, and fired me once it became clear it would not work. Had they swapped out a couple of pieces of equipment for parts I recommended, I could have made it work. But the equipment was set in stone. $20/hour to confirm that the boxes being shredded matched the list of boxes the customer signed off on. There was usually like 4 to 5 truckloads a day and I could check them all in about 15 minutes each truck. Rest of the time I read a book. Great job. I used to work for a PR agency. Every month one of our clients wanted a handful of photos resized for their website, nothing fancy, just setting the width to 500px in Windows Photo Manager. It was maybe 10 minutes of work every month, but the contract said the minimum amount of time we would charge them for was 1 day, and this was for the full team too, not just me. It must have cost them several £100 every month. I showed the client how to do it several times, and explained that they could save a lot of money doing it themselves. They didn't seem to mind. In the end I made sure I got it in writing that I'd informed them of their options and let them get on with it. I got paid fairly nicely for a couple of months to sit in an office and browse the web for 7 hours and 50 minutes a day and do mail merge for the other 10 minutes. This was literally my sole duty. I've only been paid to do one stupid thing. I was walking down the road and this guy offered me $10, pounds, euro, whatever, to go say I'm breaking up with you, I'm sorry you're just not my type to his friend, and I obviously accepted. I was once paid to work guest services when I worked at AMC theaters. My job was to literally stand there and call for a manager when a customer was unhappy. Sometimes I'd fill out applications for their rewards program. 90% of my time was spent standing there talking about movies with customers and co-workers when they walked by. I think I was paid $6.75 an hour. This was back in like 1900. Not me, but my friend was paid $100 to eat a New Zealand delicacy boil up, which is a dish of all sorts of food put in a pot and boiled. The catch, it had been left outside in summer for over a week. Next minute he's in intensive care for 2 weeks with severe food poisoning and came very close to death. Co-worker bet me $100 I couldn't stack 100 pennies in a tower. About 45 seconds later I was $100 richer. Years ago in my army days I was pulling KP with the cooks in NTC, National Training Center, in CA. The food delivery trucks would come every day in refrigerator trucks. One of the drivers was an older Chinese man and the lunch he brought was always intriguing and interesting. One particular day he brought green tofu. When he opened the jar, the stench filled the entire chow tent, which could comfortably seat roughly 400 soldiers at once. I was bet that I couldn't eat this green tofu. When I said I could, the cooks ganged together and ended up pitching in $40 and 4 packs of Newport 100s prime field currency. I thought I would be eating a 1-inch cube. Oh, how wrong I was. The gentleman kindly, and with great anticipation, fixed me up a sandwich, 1 cube on each and spread like butter. The smell alone had my gut wrenching, but I smoked a pack a day and those Newports were looking gorgeous. I ate the sandwich 1 bite at a time, just like a peanut butter Sammy, with only water to wash the food down. I received my bounty to everyone's amazement, and proceeded to brush my teeth about every 15 minutes or so, with every burp bringing back tastes of rotten/fermented/whatever the fuck tofu. Got paid $100 per hour to maintain this insanely simple access database back in 2002. It was like changing field names and adding products to the database. They guaranteed 20 hours a week in pay. That was a good year. Rich family paid me $500, minimum, a night to babysit their 8-year-old son. I was about 18, certified for child CPR, first aid, and grew up watching my nephews from a young age. I never set a price, just told them to pay me what they thought was fair. The kid was very polite and basically a young adult. I'm not sure if he took etiquette classes or something, but his face lit up when we played Pretend Ninjas for the first time. He slayed 3 of them in one slash ha ha. I was also there for his first skinned knee, and he took it like a champ. Just kept saying oh man, called fractured 7, it hurts a lot. But wound up extremely proud of it. One night they called abruptly to have me come sit, paid me in advance, then left $300 for pizza or whatever, you can keep the change, too. Then took off for 3 hours. They wanted him in bed an hour after they left, but I gave him 2.5 to play DK Country. Overall, dumb, but such good money. 10/10 would babysit again, ha ha. Male babysitters have it rough, though. It got a lot of weird looks. Edit, wow, did this blow up? I wasn't expecting this. I should add it's dumb on account of how easy it was, not to mention fun. Thank you for the awards, you're too kind. A native Spanish speaker paid me $50 an hour to tutor him. In Spanish. I'm white, but was making way better grades than him in Spanish class. I was paid $300 to move my car for a movie that was filming by my apartment. House sat for the neighbor in their mansion while they went to a wedding in town. They were so paranoid that they would get burgled that they gave 9 years. Me $100 to sit in their house for like 4 hours and watch TV. This happens to me a lot. I do computer stuff on the side and I charge $150.00/h. One time someone wanted me to make all their cables under their desk all pretty since they saw my job on their server rack. I was like, you do realize you are going to pay me $150 an hour to do this? And they said, just do it. Easy money. When I was like 20, got hired to be an assistant for some event in Hollywood. I carried 1 box of liquor into the place and they gave me a walkie-talkie and said they'd let me know when they needed me for anything else. Waited a while with no calls and found that next door they were holding a yoga class for AA members. Poked my head in the door, and they invited me to join them, so I did. After the yoga, I went to return the walkie-talkie and the guy says, we didn't use you at all, did we? Got $60.